The Department of Corrections is not denying that there is an overcrowding issue, particularly within their female housing unit, and that many of their prisoners eat their meals inside their cells next to the toilet. This has all come to light after an assault took place there last week. Here's more. Attorney Curtis Vandeveld was granted his request for an urgent hearing to discuss the safety of his client, federal inmate Caitlin Breanne Scully, who was attacked at the female detention unit at DOC last Friday. At the hearing at district court this morning, Vandeveld says he was informed that measures were taken to separate Scully from the alleged attacker in Essentia, Nemesa.
Marshal Punzalan indicated that the DOC had moved the person who assaulted my client to a separate cell area in a different wing, indicating somehow that what was the intended remedy. However, he did not completely advise what his report, which I later obtained, said, which is that is only a temporary measure and that it won't be long-term.
According to Vandeveld, Scully was submitting information into the phone log, which was located next to Nemesa's jail cell. The phone log is where prisoners are required to log down their request to make phone calls. As Scully was jotting down her phone log, Nemesa allegedly reached through the bars of her jail cell, grabbed Scully's hair, and then attempted to knee her in the face. Vandeveld says a corrections officer nearby failed to immediately stop the attack.
Basically, she stood there and told the one lady to release her hair, but didn't do anything, and that went on for about 5 minutes.
The Special Operations Response Team, or SORT, was later called to assist.
Now, why they put the log in front of the cell of somebody who has been known to have disruptive and potentially violent behavior, there's no answer about that.
DOC Director Tony Lamarena corroborated most of what Vandeveld shared with PNC and noted that DOC has launched an internal affairs investigation into the assault, and part of that investigation will determine why Nemesa was placed in the cell next to the phone log despite her history of violent behavior. Lamarena is, however, denying claims that an attempt was made to prevent Scully from contacting her attorney or reporting the crime. Meanwhile, Lamarena acknowledges that there are certainly improvements they can make, especially in addressing overcrowding. Vandeveld told us that in some instances, cells are so packed that inmates are forced to eat their dinner next to the toilet inside their cells. In response, Lamarena said all cells have toilets and, quote, where they want to eat is up to them. They can eat by their bed if they want, end quote. Although DOC has a dining area in the female housing unit, only certain prisoners can use it, depending on their classification, which is separated by level of crime and temperament.